We're going to dive into round 3. Once again, apologies, we're going to be butchering names, but we got a fight for the ages. Two very high meta characters playing two pie chart attendees. We have, as I transition, Ismail B. Once again, my apologies, on Void Rodan. Playing a bit of a classic Void Rodan list. Sweeping daggers into World's Weakest Hunter, a recursions of repeated 100% smash. A lot of cool pieces in here. I think the spiciest piece of technology is probably Falco's Jaw Titan attacks.
The 1X right here.
Yeah, it's a neat piece. 5 high for 6, turns things high, gives things plus and minus speed. Interesting, cool idea here. But look like your classic Void mid-range controlling Rodan, but has some pretty powerful I'm gonna get the job done cards. This Rodan does look like it's trying to win the game, which I really respect.
Yeah. As I pull up, because I'm doing a bad job with the Snooth system. I'm a bad tester. Yeah, I mean, 76 size card deck, with 24 attacks, good 32% rounded. Obviously, I agree with you. I mean, it is on the larger side of when it comes to decks and deck size, but like you said, I mean, we are playing the meaningful ones, right? Repeated makes sense, like you said. As just like a value attack, not necessarily like eating up a ton of punches in the deck, but it does still at the end of the day, like it is just like a 4-diff with EX and powerful on it that can help us cash in on momentum, which we are really good at generating. And I think, like you said, the 4X sweeping daggers suite makes sense because apparently if you are just like playing against other good decks in the format, especially if Godzilla is the play here at this tournament, they're playing good attacks.
Yeah.
Because they're higher difficulty, 5 difficulty, big moves that draw you cards or give you some really big value. Yeah, I think this deck is sweet. I'm excited to see, because I think a lot of what Rodan comes down to is the execution of the player. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how this one goes.
And on the other side, we have Kevin T on Izuku Midoriya on the move, shifting, transforming into Midoriya Quirks Unleashed. Looking like your classic combo deck for Phantom Threat. Love the 4 sweeping daggers. It's going to be a dagger fight. It's going to be awesome. Aerial Goblin Bolt, Fajin Flurry. I love everything that's happening here attack package-wise. And there's a ton of cards. Barrett, how many cards are inside of Kevin's list, if I could ask?
Yeah, I've got it up right here. So this is a 75 card list with 18 attacks, so that 24% number. And it's very much, I think the biggest thing we can talk about, obviously, is there's a lot of cards on the radar for people about attacks from a TMNT that this deck can really take advantage of. And we are playing a TMNT card. We're playing Code Edits, which is a strong card. I think it's good for like this 3-diff slot of like essentially doing like what Nonagon does. But we aren't playing any of those attacks that we kind of talked about people have been talking about, the Hang Tens and the Wing Nuts Sabotages of the world. But instead, prioritizing a lot more of we're still going to have the Phantom Threat, Fajin Flurry suite, 4X Sweeping Daggers, Goblin Bolt to the 4 of, and 2X of the Violent Animus Shot to respect the backup decks. And playing, obviously, a very nice suite of defensive actions and assets, which makes a lot of sense. Really prioritizing the Ares Smiles makes sense to me if we're playing against, even like Falling Titans decks or other kind of chain aggro decks like Godzilla's. So it makes sense to me. I think this list looks kind of eerily similar to what Mitchell Cimino top-cutted with in Louisville. Mm-hmm. Obviously, TMNT wasn't legal for that, but the reason I say that is because like people talked about Guardian of Chinatown when this card came out for Deku because it has Water Attune and it kind of like protects the combo. But he was also only playing it as a 1-of, and it being a 1-of here means that I think we've taken a little bit of inspiration, or also just agreed that that's the correct amount.
Yeah, love it. We're going to transition back here, and Barrett, last round, we were at 1.25 speed. This time, we're going to kick it up even faster to 1.5.
1.75?
So be on your P's and Q's as we pop in.
Well, you're going to go first, because I'm going to eat this sandwich.
Game. A-okay, buddy. A-okay. as we transition and get this guy started. All right, love the handshake. Production on the official stream. Oh, I need to be here. Production on the official stream is a little behind us, and that's okay. But we got Rodan going first, building out a couple of foundations here, and I think the name of the game is going to be stabilization for both players. Our goal is Rodan needs to have enough resources and ideas to defend themselves, whereas Midoriya is trying to build out a massive stage and find 21 off of probably a singular move. As I
Yeah, I would agree
up,
with you, but like,
yeah, go ahead.
it's weird because stabilization matters for both of these characters, absolutely. But it's different. Like playing Rodan against a deck that you know isn't turn 2ing you is very different than Rodan having to have that very key surviving turn 2 and turn 3, which is when you're at your weakest defense wise. On the other side, Midoriya is honestly, in my opinion, the deck that will be on the defensive foot, because Midoriya will eventually hit a point that says, hey, Rodan, I built enough foundations that I will actually one-shot you.
Yeah.
And you have very little ways of interacting with me. And if you do have ways of interacting with me, I probably have an answer to it, or I have an answer to the answer, or whatever. So I do think it is very much on Ismael's onus to keep the tempo of this game on the aggressive foot, because eventually Deku will create enough foundations to do enough forms to just end the game, because 21 life is very different than like 34.
Totally. And Animus is a great way to start it out. 4 high for 5. Let's make this thing a little bit quicker. We did have to commit Midoriya in order to pass some checks, and so it might be possible that we rip a key card out of Midoriya's hand unless Cape is on the board. I was looking at a different screen. Did we build this Cape?
We did, yeah.
Okay. So from here,
yeah, and our character's committed, so we don't have that really powerful discarding a vestige kind of ability. But what we do have access to is this cape that we ended up building. And we can obviously still block, which we do.
Yeah, Smokescreen, adding a card from my hand into a card pool face down for -4 speed. Probably the first time I've ever seen this card inside of a list. Very cool way to stop and fight Rodan. If singular blocks are hyper important, then this is a way to utilize your hand to get kind of a bonus review. Dig through this 75 card list, find the pieces that we need, and go on from there. From here, Rodan continuing to push his luck, checking the 5 on the Rejuve Smash. Second card played on our turns. We're going to gain 2, draw 2. The gain health, not important, but Rodan becoming a 9 hand size character. Massive deal. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the kind of the value engine, but it's also the risky play, right? And I think this matters because if we checked a 3 here, obviously we Rodan, we saw what was coming. But sometimes when you press the Rodan enhance and you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, if there was 2-3 there, 2-3 checks there, you don't get to make this play. You just don't get to do this. And luckily, because you get to alter the order, you get to check the 5, commit 1 foundation, and if there was a 3 on top of the deck, also, you got to draw that and have that value going forward future turns. But the goal here now is, again, that stabilization. We've played our 2 attacks. We got a little bit of damage in. 23 is a lot easier to do than 29. Now we need to build our stage and build a good enough defense, because if there's anything that I think Deku is very, very still good at doing, and even more so now with cards like Hang 10 and Wingnut Sabotage, although Kevin's not playing them, you're still allowed to play very impactful and meaningful pokes as Deku to still generate advantage, such as Fajin Flurries.
Fajin Flurry is huge.
I think even in that same boat, as we immediately, at the beginning of our turn, form turn 3 of our foundation sideways, and we're going to become the backside. Quirks Unleashed. One of the cards that we committed was the First Wielder, which says we're allowed to ready a foundation and gain 2 of our life back once you transform, which is very nice. And then here we have another key piece, and one of the reasons why you play the air version of this deck, which is Heroic Passion, which says every time we turn a foundation sideways, either for a form or for any cost, whatever it is, we get to draw a card, which helps you find some of those pieces, like you said, in our large 75 card list. We can find them a lot easier because we have this extra draw potential. Building a tattered costume matters. We play some pretty strong defensive actions on the side for Ismael and Rodan in general. But
Yeah.
again, stabilization turn, we just really needed to turn into that backside of Midoriya to eventually have the offense. So here we have, this is another key turn for Ismael to have a good offense. Sweeping daggers, name of the game. If there's any sweeping daggers in Kevin's discard pile, you just get to get them all, right?
And he says, no, thank you. Activating Midoriya, putting the speed down to 1, redrawing a card, and blocking with a Goblin Bolt.
And giving a flash.
The strongest 1-2 punch that this Midoriya deck can present. Hey, I'm down to draw the card, make your mid attack not deal anything, and then cancel whatever enhance you could possibly want to do next. And it doesn't say non-character. It's a really, really strong part of this card.
Non-character, blitzes, enhances. It doesn't mess with responses, which is important. But like here, as we see this 100% repeated smash, you can cancel the speed that Rodan could give. You could cancel the commit ability that I just hope we wouldn't press. But it also just says you could cancel the Ready One Foundation ability. Also could cancel Powerful or EX, of course. But this one to me is just kind of like a grease attack, maybe setting something up to play something like a Tri-Gravity Beam. So if we could bait out this Aerial Goblin Bolt and getting flipped over, Tri-Gravity Beam was probably going to feel a little bit better, but it looks like we're going to just cancel the Rodan Speed Enhance so that this can be blockable for us.
Yeah, another block makes sense here. An Aries Smile coming in, saying
huge.
that the Tri-Gravity Beam dream is dead. Hey, play a non-attack card or pass your turn, and now we don't even have to worry about using the cape on that Tri-Grav. You've got to play something else and make the turn way, way harder, way, way scarier. We'll see if we decide to go for the line, and the answer is we're giving up the ghost. It's not going to happen.
Which is a successful turn if you're Kevin playing Midoriya on the move. It's about how many turns you can survive with. And the closer we get to a better stage for Kevin, it's faster and faster approaching that 21 one-shot number for Phantom Thread. 1 Defiant Stance in stage represents 2 foundations for our form, basically. We're very close to getting all 5 of those all 5 of those form stacks. And we're turning our stage sideways. I mean, we might actually just be close enough. Something like a first enhance giving an extra bit of damage. We don't have any momentum for the powerful, but we're pressing at least 1 form. Heroic Passion draws us a card, readies the Defiant Stance up. So, I mean, regardless, you're a 7-hander for the rest of the turn, and then it scales depending on how many Heroic Passions you have.
Yeah. As well as, I mean, you're drawing cards and getting bonus stats. It's everything that you want to do in a game of UniVersus, all on the backside, and you have such a potent for free on-demand defense of negate an attack, redraw a card. It just has so much. It has so much. It is so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. From here, looks like we're activating Midoriya again. Now +6,
2,
+6,
3, 4.
4 times. So plus.
Take a momentum. Phantom on a 5. Checks a 3 though, and you get away with murder.
Whoa.
That was the riskiest play I've ever seen happen. But Midoriya on the move is allowed to make that play. You get the momentum. There was 4 forms stacked up. It would have came in with the 4 instances of 3/3, 1 enhance for powerful, give it flash and send it. But it means you turn your whole stage sideways and check a 3 and fail it.
And Rodan just builds. He's not even gonna punish him for it. He said there's nothing to do. He said cape plus tattered costume is too strong. I need to hedge my bets and say you can't do that a second time, young man.
Well, it could just be we didn't draw them, which when you play a 76 card deck, even as a 7-hander, and you see 1 attack against a cape, it's sometimes not enough.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually surviving when we shouldn't have. I mean, like, very, very, very plainly. But I will say, because we failed that Phantom Threat, again, this is a Midoriya deck. That's the one you got to find. We checked another one. We didn't have one, obviously, in our hand. But instead, we're just like, I guess I'll just build 6 or whatever, build 5 or whatever.
We've now entered the wall. We have, I believe, 12 foundations over on Rodan's side. Deep in deadlock over on Midoriya's side as well. 6, 7, 9, 11, I think. 8, 6, 11.
And it was just...
Yeah,
I mean, now we're just in this weird situation of, like... eventually, Kevin will probably find 1 Phantom Threat. And when he does, I think the game's over.
Yeah.
If we don't find the Phantom Threat, it is more and more turns of Ismael trying to break through this defense and get at least a little closer of trying to win this game. But it is going to have to take either an incredibly large stage and doing it in one turn, or multiple turns of trying to pull this off. Man, that was so fast because we're at 1.5 times speed, and I didn't really have time to embrace it and catch it up. I don't.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is weird that Hang 10 is on the screen.
Yeah.
And I didn't pull it up. Did you pull it up? I didn't pull it up.
That's on the official screen, not on our screen. We
I
physically
see,
can't pull that card up because it's not in their deck. But it's I'm just losing my mind.
Oh, I mean, we can just pull something up to cover it, right?
That's what we've been doing, Barrett. But that's not what you get to see. I can't show you what they at home see.
I understand.
Yes.
My bad. I didn't realize that wasn't what was on your screen. Good. I've got 7 windows up right now watching and commentating this from remote.
I feel it, and it's dope.
But it's kind of,
last time I'll ever send you a private message.
No, it's not. No, it wasn't anything important. What, dude? Come on. Okay, hey, I have a real because we're about to hit the wall because Rodan just built.
Yeah.
We have formed 5 times again.
Nah,
so
it's 6.
I'll hold my breath before we get into it.
It's 6. We got another one.
6. Yeah, you're allowed to check a 3 here because you still have 2 more foundations, which is better than what we had last time. But the question is, I'm looking at the stage, Tam, and there is nothing on Ismael's board that protects him against this combo.
Yeah, I am also not seeing anything. Let me pull this Phantom Thread up before.
I'm gonna pull the whole deck list up while you do that. I'm just trying to figure out what we have. Some cheeky block trick or something like something in the stage I can't see. Like it just.
I mean, the answer is just Genkai's, right? Like they Genkai's.
It's just Genkai's, and there it is. We're pressing the button. We're gonna sacrifice our 3, and Tatter Costume eats it. So we have to have a second guidance. Sorry, we're figuring out. So you've got to pay your costs. That's what we're doing. We're sacking 3 foundations.
All non-check.
Spawn Tattered Costume, which will cancel and draw. There's no interaction for the Tattered Costume, so this will happen. The question is there a second Genkai's Guidance? Genkai's Guidance stays in the card pool. And if that was your one answer, again, Midoriya already had that on the stage to protect the combo. We are now talking it out. Hey, I'm going to only press... It's going to receive all these stats, but I'm only going to press the response on Phantom Threat 4 times. You're allowed to pass priority and not do the button. And then go to the enhanced step, press Powerful 2 for some extra gas, immediately give it flash and draw a card, and we are now presenting a 24 for a billion
as we go
to our opponent
to game 2.
As we go to game 2. And there it is. I mean, we fumbled on the first attempt, and we checked a 3 for Kevin, but with no rebuttal from Ismael, and instead built a board that just, I mean, quite frankly, didn't interact with the combo, means you fold to it on a future turn, and there's not really much else you can do about it. But, yep, game 1 going to go over to Kevin as they go in sideboard, and then we can chat a little bit. I mean, I don't know how much adaptation you can really do, as I'm kind of like there are answers, obviously. Like, there are cards that Ismael is playing in his sideboard that can help him. Things like Nonagon, at least to get to the enhanced step. We also have, like, Filled with Doubts. Like, they do exist, but you still have to have the answer to the rebuttal answer that Kevin already has access to and is already mainboarding, because that's what the deck does.
Apparently, Chad is saying that he had a second Genkai's in hand and just didn't think he was allowed to play 2 of them into the same window.
Oh, you absolutely are. Which is different. That's a different...
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
That's rough. Yeah, you definitely can. And that means we would have lived, unless... We would have lived another turn. That still doesn't answer the question of, like, could Ismael rebuttal and send another offense, which is something we have to find out in this next game. Because I think we did a good job in the beginning of the game of like putting in some pressure, knocking down Midoriya's life a little bit closer, stabilizing our own stage, getting away with murder and surviving that first Phantom threat that would have been for lethal.
Yeah.
So it's just this idea. It sounds like Chad says no, it was actually a barriers or whatever. Maybe it was a different game. I don't know. So it's good, but like you have to have like 2 or 3 answers when the game gets that long against this Midoriya deck. And I just don't know if game 1 was well suited for that for Ismael because of how quickly Kevin was able to pull off the combo, and even then just like check the 3 and gave Ismael a chance.
Yeah.
Right? So like that was something that we were gifted that game. That doesn't happen twice.
Yeah, opts to go first as Ismael over on Rodan. Mulligan in the hand back, saying that one's not quite good enough. Leaving himself a special treat at the bottom of his deck. We're going to see. I think that... did Kevin not mulligan at all? Is he just happy with it?
Maybe.
We just drew 6 good ones? I love it. Love that.
I mean, you'll get a bonus too, right? I mean, plus a review. Like, if one card's an attack, you review it, you draw your 2 bonus. Like, it's pretty simple.
Nonagon going in. Going to be
Nonagon
massive,
matters.
I think.
Well, so it's Nonagon plus return to normalcy. So again, just getting to the enhanced step isn't quite enough, Tam, because the attack is still going to have plus whatever.
Yeah.
Right? You still have to deal with it. Getting to the enhanced step, though, gives you the ability to play things like return to normalcy or barrier shield or whatever it is and get to the block step in a more reasonable pace. And then live because your opponent tapped their entire board sideways. But even if you get to the enhanced step, you still got to be able to pass the block. And your opponent is also allowed to now play enhances. So
can we talk about the
double...
board state real fast?
Yeah.
Rodan is one of those characters that pokes incredibly well. I would be so nervous to poke at a Kevin's board here with the double desperate plea plus my character of Midoriya -3 speed
with a heroic.
Redraw a thing. Like this is such a bad spot for us to be in. If we
there it is.
If we poke and we have any amount of a high block whatsoever, it's just gonna build up the stage even faster for Midoriya to make that combo happen that much quicker.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening here right now, right? Is that we turned our heroic passion, drew a card, blocked with this infinite potential, built it down. So now we have the infinite potential plus Aries Smile thing available to us whenever we want. And our opponent let us do that because they poked into us. And it was just a poke. We didn't even like Rodan to like see what was coming. It was just poke, give our opponent value, build for pass.
Yeah.
So it's like, and we're gonna throw our own poke. I mean, Kevin feels like he's in such a good spot. He's up a game. He's like, I'm allowed to just lazily sling this aerial Goblin Bolt, selective seal a thing like the Nonagon, and say I'm allowed to keep playing these pokes because Tam, what really matters here, in my opinion, is if you get 1 momentum as Midoriya, it's so big for that Phantom threat. It means you're allowed to do the thing that we just did last game because you can get 1 momentum. This little 3 for 3 poke, I mean, it's going to get +3 speed because we tapped the heroic, but like, and then asking your opponent
to -3, and we still take the 2, right? Like we take the 2 here, and we're removing so many daggers.
My god,
gone. Ugh, wowzers! It's a knife fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so
getting in there.
For everybody at home, Sweeping Daggers says, I mean, as you pull it up, Blitz. Remove an attack from your opponent's discard pile. This gains all abilities and keywords from it. So for every Sweeping Daggers you remove from a Sweeping Daggers from your opponent, you get to do it again while just also getting immense value of removing attacks from your opponent's discard pile. And then also, coincidentally, if you have more Sweeping Daggers in your own discard pile, because you picked 2 of theirs, you're allowed to use the other Blitz on your own Sweeping Daggers more times to trade out and get more burn damage in. But on the last one, you obviously pick some other move to copy whatever you really want it to be. It could literally even just be that repeated. I can't see because the glare, but and even that repeated smash gives the punch keyword to the Sweeping Daggers, which allows us to ready the heroic passion.
Yeah, I think what we did here was we copied an ice sword and we committed moment of normalcy,
Yeah,
which I
which
don't
makes
hate.
sense.
I don't hate that
I
part.
I, I don't hate it either. So you do all of those things, you tap that thing down, you get some extra poke value in, or you get resources out of your opponent. We even had our thing canceled, which is crazy to me. We canceled the peak ability off of Rodan, which flips over the aerial goblin blow, which means we don't get to take it as momentum.
I
We
think
didn't get any momentum that turn.
we canceled a redraw. We're moving quick, but it's
Oh,
important
I
to say.
thought it was the peak, but
Nah, it's all right.
regardless, we flipped over the
We
aerial goblin
did
blow,
not
which
get the
means we didn't
momentum,
get the
is what it
momentum.
was.
Yeah. So that big thing that I said is now off the table because of the the actions we chose to take. We did, however, we had a face down in our card pool, which means when we go to transform into Quirks Unleashed, that face down card in our card pool says we have to commit one less foundation. We still get value, and we turn our character over. On play of a sweeping daggers again from Ismael, which this is the third one now we've seen on his deck. But we're gonna infinite potential and to make it a high, and then here comes the block with an Ares smile.
Huge, 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 huge. What a
Hey,
crazy tactic.
please stop,
Love it.
especially because we know that Ismael is playing things like repeated smash or repeated.
And then instantly takes and uses the desperate plea to build in this action, turning it from a blue card now into a gray card, which is just more stats and more potential for the combo to happen on the next turn. 19 is looking that much closer.
I can only imagine he wanted to play rejuvenating smash there and immediately got told no because you got Ares smiles, right? So I mean, rejuvenating smash says it has to be the second card you play this turn. Ares smiles shuts that down even when you block with them early.
As a well-known infinite potential hater, that tactic in this character feels really, really disrespectful.
I think that's fair, but I think it's just a good defensive tactic in general, right? Like,
just like
and even when infinite
the added BM of you don't get to go to the enhanced step and it's a 0 high.
Oh,
like,
true.
I can't,
Yes, and
I
this
like
character
no enhanced step, 0 high. Don't play a move. I'll take no damage. I'll build it down. Like it was just plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one. So much. It was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the benefits of doing that when you are a flash based character, and the stage is now so incredibly large for Kevin. As we are building foundations on Ismail's side, very quickly we have enough foundations for the Phantom Threat to once again be this one punch. But you have to have an answer to the Nonagon, or potentially even a Genkai's guidance in hand. And I think we're gonna still try and go for it as we start. No, okay, we're gonna do the poking, which makes sense to me, right? We don't have all the defensive pieces to protect the combo. That's just still putting on enough pressure to our opponent. And we pressed the form button twice. One was Heroic Passion, Defiant, Ready to Defiant, and then turned a second Defiant sideways, and then the first one that we did already. So this is still going to come in with +6/+6.
Yeah, hell of a poke,
and the
right?
question,
4 diff,
it's a hell of a
for
poke.
10.
You have to look at your own.
Rodan.
You have to look at your own discard pile and be like, man, do I just have to freaking Nonagon this thing?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? What matters in the discard pile? It looks like we're just gonna let it rot.
I think you have to let it go. I think you just have to. He goes, okay, well, here's your third sweeping daggers that's now here. Here's that one. It's gone. And then we get to pick anything we want. Look at the bullet kick.
If we have the repeated, we're at 10 damage. Hey, checks can't be modified this turn. Your breaker blocks, they don't exist. Sorry, man.
True. And we did get picked the repeated, so I gained the punch keyword, and so we can ready up this Heroic Passion, which means we have it on defense, or we have it on defense because it is a once per turn. Sorry, I had to remember that. Which means we have it ready to go when Ismael attempts to attack us if we don't end up killing this turn. But at the end of the day, you still have to deal with the +6/+6 on this. It now also has powerful NEX. Not that we have any momentum.
Yeah, +6/+6, and there's so much more that we're allowed to like play onto this this card. Like we've got 5 face downs for even more of a punch. Like this is we only pumped +3/+3 into this one. Imagine if we had just, I don't know, 2 more on it. It's just that much more that we're gonna have to commit out this board over on Rodan's side to just survive, because this is literally half of our remaining health.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of what I was trying to get at, is that this is something that Midoriya has already been able to do forever. If the game goes long enough, you build a big enough stage, he is still incredibly good at playing pokes. And I say poke, and I get that it is a 10 damage move, and we are so many turns into this game, it's not really a poke anymore. But like the value of each attack and how many resources your opponent must commit to protect themselves against them goes up tremendously the larger your stage is. And then when they're already on moves like Violent Animus Shot or Sweeping Daggers, your opponent has to constantly be thinking about what happens if I don't interact with this one. What else am I going to lose? Do I just lose on the next one after they decide to turn their stage sideways even more?
And then this is 0 high for 5, and it is representing. It's asking to answer a question. Hey, you're going to lose a card either way. Do you want to save this as a block or no? And the answer is we're just going to block it out using the barrier shield. Would have loved to have played the enhance on it for a little bit of breaker here, but that stopping for breakfast is going to stop that. Build 1 pass, still hold 4 cards in hand because it's draw 1 from the heroic passion, and then on defense, how do we commit it on defense? We don't. The answer is
I don't think we do. So that's why I stopped talking about it. I was like, oh, we don't actually have a way. Yeah, like, and we're staying across stopping for breakfast. There it is. That's one way of answering one of the answers that Ismail has, which is the Genkai's guidance. It does only answer one Genkai's guidance, so you're allowed to play another one. But here comes that spicy one of on Ismail's side of the board. The you got it. Thank you. Falco's Jaw Titan attacks. 6 difficulty, checks a 4. 5 high for 6. It shifts down into the backside, which we'll show after we're done with it. But Blitz, it says your next attack this turn gets +4 speed, and you can change it to a high. Probably don't want to do that against the Eerie Smiles deck, but it does still get 4 speed, which is very good.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And that is if my rival lets me get to the Blitz on this one. We easily could just Midoriya this and say, hey, I don't have to deal with either of them, truthfully.
Yeah. But I think making the decision not to, as we've already moved to enhances, getting our Rodan. We also have a Science Bros in our stage, so like we are using incubating offensively, which does give and net 1 damage. So I like that play. It's a cool tool that Rodan has access to now, as long as you're willing to play those 3 difficulty foundation, as well as still just giving even extra stats, the extra 1/1 every time you press the Rodan button. It feels really nice, and it's also a good draw card. But here comes Aries Smile. He goes, yeah, man, your next one can have +4 speed, but you're going to have to weave something in between.
Makes total sense to me. Saying really... that the Rejuve Smash is not going to be the second card, which means we no longer get to have that gain 2, draw 2, putting us back to full health and making us the dreaded 9-hander that Midoriya does not want to deal with.
It was a hefty block to do it, though. Yep, it looks like we're just like, I've got to do something, man. I've got to try and play, but here it is. There's that read. We've had this Rejuve for 2 turns in a row now. Playing this on a 7, checking a 3 on it. Even though it comes in with the 4 speed, this is a pretty do-nothing attack, even if we do find a way to discard a card from our hand and get a momentum.
Nah, we're never even going to enter the enhanced step to begin with. I assume that we're going to put this as a 1... oh, look, we jumped footage. 1 for 8.
Whoa. Things are happening.
Things are happening.
Crazy.
Did the stream crash? Question mark?
I don't know. Maybe it was lagging, and because we're playing it at 1.5 speed, we don't actually like see all the lag buffer. But it looks like we did end up surviving with a Genkai's guidance of our own from Kevin's side of the stage, stopping the 3rd attack. And then even if there was another one, or maybe we did flash that one, you know, we had very good defense here on the side of Kevin's board. And even after sacrificing the 3 foundations, we still end up having a pretty healthy stage for us to do the offense. But because of now that Falco's Jaw Titan is now on the flipped side, you now have access to this backup that has some pretty relevant text on it, right? It has 6 stamina, and you can spend 1 stamina to give an attack +1 or -1 speed, and you can enhance, lose 2 stamina, and change this attack's zone to high. So it can be anything for your own high block tricks as well. That being said, we are watching Kevin lead with an aerial Goblin Bolt. I can only imagine it's going to seal the Nonagon once again. And even with 1 card in our state or in our card pool, we can probably press the form button still enough times to play a Phantom Thread as our second attack and then get through that answer.
Yeah, 19 is a lot. And so it might be the same kind of situation, though, of Maybe it has to be we press the buttons, we tap out. I need to check the 5. If I check the 3, the turn could be over. There's certainly there's a chance that there's a lot riding on the line. We'll have to see what the rest of the turn looks like.
Yeah, it looks like we're going for that seal there. I think the other important part too, Tam, is like, let's say that there's some crazy hand trick or something from Ismael or another way to give flash to a move. The aerial goblin bolt's in the card pool now. So
Yeah.
even when you go to press the button like the return to normalcy, you can just say no.
Yeah.
Even if you get to the enhanced step.
That for enhanced answers, we've got stopping for breakfast. For action answers,
responses.
we've got machos for another enhanced answer in the stage. There's a lot that we have answers to over on Kevin's side. The question we have to ask is, do we have the question, right? And it looks like failing or passing the cape. Cape passes.
It does pass. We did get the block.
3.
I think it makes sense. It's less forms your opponent needs, less damage your opponent needs. But the question here is, how many forms do you press? You only have to deal 19. We have the potential to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if we tapped our whole board sideways. Of course, we don't want to do that. We want to keep the stopping for breakfast up. You only need 4 of them, and I counted to 6. So, you press it 4 times, Tam. Even if you check a 3, you tap the last, or I guess you can keep everything but stopping for breakfast up.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like we do have the Phantom Threat sitting in hand, just waiting.
1, 2,
let's redraw.
3, 4, 5.
5.
Just gonna press it 5 times. That means this Phantom Threat is on a 6.
Checking a 3 here is going to be absolutely devastating. As we all hold our breath, waiting for. Oh, it's a violent animus shot. Oh, we can get this
4-5.
We can give it flash.
There's a backup on the stage.
You got a backup. Oh,
whoa!
Wowzer!
Wow!
Falco, dude, you gotta get out of here, man.
Blitz. Commit a foundation, which we kept up.
Yeah.
Remove 1 backup from any stage. The Falcos. If you did draw a card, gains flash. Bop. Go. No enhances. It still comes in with 15.
Wow.
15 plus 5 on the damage by itself is 20 damage.
So smart. And even, you ready? Even if we check the 3 here, we still can commit Midoriya plus 1 more, and then do this same play. Yeah, we won't have the Genkai's answer, but
that's on play, right?
Yeah.
So if the on play answer comes after you've checked to the 3, whatever, you don't play the blitz anymore because it's probably going away anyway, right?
Yeah.
Or you maybe take it to the enhanced step and you still have the aerial goblin bolt to answer the return to normalcy. I think this is kind of crazy, right? Look, that's exactly what we're doing. You don't have the stopping for breakfast, or you do have it. You still turn the Mashos sideways. The Mashos would cancel the return to normalcy, but you still have this attack gaining. It has flash on it still.
Yeah.
You don't have an answer to the flash. Even if you did have an answer to the flash, I can aerial goblin bolt to return to normalcy. This is an incredibly cool line, all because your opponent had a backup in their stage.
Yeah. Backups are bad, man. I don't know why people play it. There's the handshake. Congratulations to Kevin. What a crazy line, dude. That was
Kevin
so
T
sick.
here with the 2-0 victory. Wow. Wow, that was pretty cool. I liked that a lot. I said it earlier today, Tam. I think the decks that are lazily playing backup decks, and when I say lazy, I don't mean in the sense of that was a terrible decision, that card's bad. If you aren't committed to the backup game plan, you're going to catch some random strays for people playing cards to fight against that game plan. That is literally what we just saw happen. That you gave Midoriya another opportunity to play a flash attack to gain all these stats to get you basically almost at exacts lethal because you only played 1 backup in your deck, or you only played a couple or whatever. And because you did play it, I have an answer that I'm going to eat you alive for. And that's literally what happened. It's crazy. And I said that. That's what I said. I said Reiner Braun Warrior decks are going to feel a little rougher. if people are choosing to play things like Violent Anima Shot to be an answer to this deck. But all in all, Midoriya getting the win, moving on as what we assume to be 3-0. Against a Rodan who was already 2-0, hopefully, that we assume. So I mean, still in the running for sure. You're allowed to go X and 1. That
That's
was
true,
great.
man. What a sick game. What a very cool game. It felt like players were making choices on both sides, but it certainly felt like the character with a little more agency over their turn won. I dig it. I dig it. If you like that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching over on YouTube, please make sure you check out the rest of the videos of me and Barrett casting the EU regional. We've got so much more, and if you're watching with us live now, we're gonna move on to the next one. Easy peasy.
I'm excited for this next one. I can already.